be more than human.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph Carroll. I write under the pen name J.R. Carroll. And today I thought I'd bring you my top 5 recommendations for fantasy lovers who are wanting to get into sci-fi. And these are some comp titles. At least for me, they gave me the same feeling, the same kind of, I don't know, like atmosphere as I was going through the books. I was like, oh man, that really feels like this book, and I've just recently, over the last year or so, really started getting into sci-fi. So I thought, if you're like me and you're a big fantasy reader, but you want to kind of branch out, these might be able to help you out a little bit. So my first recommendation is, if you like Game of Thrones, then I think you'll like the Red Rising series, especially in the second trilogy for Red Rising. The first trilogy, we stay with Darrow, but it's dark like Game of Thrones is, and then once you get to that second trilogy, you start getting all the POVs, but the POVs are done very well, very similar to how George does his. But it has this just so much political intrigue. So many people are vying for the throne, right? But there's no censorship here. There's no editing. It is just dark, gritty. You don't know who's going to come out on top. The main character gets messed up so many times. But yes, just that, especially, like I said, especially that second trilogy, you are going to love it if you like Game of Thrones. Now, as for my favorite fantasy series of all time, the Dresden Files. If you like the Dresden Files, you will love Expeditionary Force. It has that dynamic. Craig Allinson does side characters beautifully. He does dialogue as good as anybody, if not better. And then, of course, you have Joe and Skippy are your main characters. Skippy is an AI. If you are into the Dresden Files, just assume that Skippy is Bob in space. Hilarious. Yeah, just one of the best sci-fi series, my favorite sci-fi series of all time. And then for all you Malazan lovers out there, if you like Malazan, I believe you will really like Hyperion. The prose, very comparable. The darkness, the strangeness of the world, very strange. The bouncing back and forth between characters, if you like a bunch of POVs, it has that there. But just that dark, like, undertone. Everybody was messed up somehow. But also how Malazan really has that world, that weird world feeling. There's always something strange about it. And I think Hyperion really matches that well. And Dan Simmons' writing, I think, is very comparable to Steven Eriksson's. So I think you will all like Hyperion. And Mistborn. Now, this is one I went back and forth with. And some people may disagree. And let me know in the comments. But I feel like if you like Mistborn, I think you'll like Dune. Because Mistborn has a lot of stuff going on. It's the mist. There's something weird with the mist. The world itself, the Well of Ascension. What is going on. As much as we're worried about the characters are worried about the world, and that's kind of how Dune is, right? There's some magic in Dune, right? But Dune is about the atmosphere, about the planet. It's about what's going on in the sands and the water and the moisture. And you also have your peasant class and everything, just like you do in the especially in the first Mistborn. So I think if you like Mistborn, I think you'll really like Dune. I do think you will. And then for all my Sandman Slim fans out there. If you like Sandman Slim, I think you will like Murderbot. Murderbot is that, it has that same like punk, like of course it's a robot, right? But he's, but his personality is very punky, very much anti-establishment. I don't like these people. I just want to do my own thing. Very Sandman Slim like. And some people say they think it's the best character study ever. I don't know if I believe that myself, but I do like the world that you get, and it also kind of has that feeling of, even on books where you're not 100% invested in what's going on with Sandman Slim, the world makes up for that. And I think Murderbot does the same thing. When there are some books where you're just like, I'm just not really caring about what Murderbot's doing, but you get these kernels of the world, and that's really cool. So let me know any other comp titles that you might think of when you think of these type of fantasy books to sci-fi books. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out my Patreon down there. We're doing some really cool stuff. My book 3 is getting ready to come out here in just a couple months. And remember, be more than human.